Hey, the peoples. I don't know what to call you since I don't have an audience for this channel yet. I could call you old fat guys because that's what I am. But this is an October progress report. I'm going to do it similar, well, similar, but actually quite different from how I've done my previous mailbags or what else have I called those? I don't know. It was show and tells. I want to once a month check in with you and show you how my collections are coming along, show you how much I'm paying for things, what I've gotten, how it's changed, and how what I'm doing as a collector, what I'm doing as a curator, right? Because like what I have behind me, these are my curated collections, and I'm actually going to take you on a tour through my man cave today and show you things throughout my office. I love being down here. I'm curating these collections, but I also want to show you the behind the scenes, what I'm doing to collect, how I'm doing that, what things cost, etc. So I have my notes over here. I'm going to refer to those. The first thing it says is I do something like this for another channel. I have a channel called Creator Side Income. That's what I do that pays for these collections. I have a side hustle where I do product reviews online, and I talk about the money I make from that on this channel, Creator Side Income. And I do a monthly earnings report, and it's really helpful for me because I have a bunch of different spreadsheets. I go through, I analyze the data for the month. It shows me what I've actually done that month as far as building the business and how it's impacted me. And I show how much, like last month I earned $5,500, and it shows how much of that came from different little things, right? And I thought, actually, that's really a helpful historical thing for me. And since I don't have an audience on this channel right now anyways, I might as well create those kind of videos for this channel where I show what am I working on, what are the different collections that I'm curating, and what progress have I made in the last month, what kind of money am I spending, etc. So I thought I would kind of pivot into that structure for this video. So I'm trying that out this time. And if anyone does watch this in the future, I would love to see in the comments what you think of this kind of format, what you'd like me to add or take away from it. But I already know right now my long form videos are getting like 3 views. And so this is mostly just for me. So first, let's go through just what I collect, and then I'll take you through a tour of the office. Baseball and basketball in junk wax boxes. I've actually completed that collection. I wanted to have a box of every junk wax from 86 to 92 in baseball and basketball. And here in this shelf right here, I'll show that to you later. I have them all. I have 52 boxes of cards. And it cost me, I think when I added it all together, it was around $4,000 to get all those things. It took me 2 years to complete that collection. And in 2026, I'm going to open them all up. So I'm really excited about that. I also have display cards. So here behind me on the wall, I have 3 different displays, one for GPK, one for autographed BYU football, and one for vintage baseball and basketball. And I'll show those displays to you here in a bit, but I'm continuing to collect and curate those. Those that aren't up in the display are back here in some cases and in other boxes and things like that. So I can show you that here in a bit. I'm collecting GPK sets and display cards. So I mentioned one of my displays is for Garbage Pail Kids. I also am collecting at least the first 6 or 7 sets of that series, and I'm pretty close on those, but I'll show you the spreadsheets I use for that here in a minute. I also have toys. If you look behind me, my favorite toys from the 80s are Thundercats, so I have quite a large collection of that, but I'm still collecting that. I'm collecting Voltron and Transformers. That was something that I loved back when I was a kid, and I'm acquiring a few more pieces of that. Eventually, I think I'll have a decent collection of Transformers at least. Voltron's limited. There's not a lot of stuff there. And then other media. So you see here, is it this one? I this last month collected a few more CDs and DVDs. These extend from the 70s to today, but nobody really collects media now because it's all digital, and I thought it'd be fun to have physical copies. So that's something I've gone back and started collecting again. So I'll take you through that. And then other random stuff. You see I have here right there, I got some Jordans a couple months ago. I have a boombox up there. We've got a few Walkmans, Sony Walkmans that I've collected recently. I just ordered a Bo Jackson poster, and we have other movie posters. Even little things like this hoverboard, collected that this summer. So just cool 80s things, and I'll show you all that. So first, let's talk about how I collect. If I come over here to my spreadsheet, or not spreadsheet, let me just show you. Here's the notes I'm working on today. So we got through what I collect and how I collect. I didn't finish this, but I'm going to use this process in the future. What I got this month, what I did this month, and then tour of the man cave. So what I got this month, oh, how I collect, that's where I'm at now. So I need to show you spreadsheets. So what I can show you here is these are like my junk wax boxes, and I have all of them. I have another tab for basketball and then other things. And what I'm going through now is collecting the relative value. So I have what I paid for them, and now I'm trying to figure out what they're worth. And the way I figured that out, let me find another spreadsheet here. All right, so right now I'm working on 1990 Topps baseball, and I'm adding all the values here. So we see the Nolan Ryan card's worth 40 cents or to $1. And the way I'm finding that is I took an old Beckett price guide and I just scanned those in, and I'm looking and I'm working off those and finding the low book and the high book value. It's been tedious work. I've tried to get AI to help me with that, and AI can help me generate the list of names. What I did for that, I showed you earlier, I had this. This is from, what's this website called? Trading Card Database. That's where I find all the things. I copy and paste, so I'll like scan all these. I'll just copy that. I'll drop it into ChatGPT like here, and then it gives me a list like that, which I can copy and paste into my spreadsheet. So it's been quite a process, but I go through that. Once I complete that, here, let me show you on one I've already completed. So if I go to 86, I can come down here and it shows this is what it's worth, $78.20 for this box. I paid $90, so I actually lost money on it. The relative value is 87%. But then I bring that data over here, so that's for this 86 Topps box here. It's worth 87%. The goal is to find out what's the best value. If I go and buy it off eBay, right now 87 Topps is the best. Nope, we've got 87 Donruss is an even better value. And it's interesting here when we look across all of baseball, not great values. 88 Donruss is pretty good. And what you'll find is when you go to the lower priced boxes, you get more value just because you can get them dirt cheap. And so it's hard to make comparisons. I'm still figuring that out. I've gone through all of basketball at this point, and you see that the relative value, 90 to 91 Fleer is the best. I only paid $80 for that box, but it's worth as much as $400. Oh, and that's not the best value. If we look down here at 91, 92, we've got a relative value of 8 here on some of these. And again, it's you pay under $100 for a box, but the boxes are worth upwards of $500. But that might just be a Beckett issue, because Beckett valued this way higher than other people have. And so I don't know how to make sense of that, because they say a common card's worth 50 cents, where if it was in baseball, that same common card would be worth 3 cents. And so I'm not sure what to do with that, but right now I'm just collecting the data, building the spreadsheets. And so that's been kind of fun. All right. So next, it's what did I get this month? I'm actually going to turn on my top light. So I turned those off because I'm experimenting with lights, but it washes out my face. So I'll turn on those lights. I'll turn off this little light. Let me grab some of the things I got this month. I'll tell you how much I paid roughly and what I got. Let's start with media. Went to the thrift store and actually got this on eBay. This was $8. These were like $1 for the movie and $2 for the season. So I got 2 television shows and a movie, and it was like a total of, let me do math, 8 plus 3, 11, $12. $12 for these. And if you haven't seen Pushing Daisies, this is such a fun show. It only had 2 seasons, but this is one that I think I can rewatch every 5 years and love it every time. It's just a really cute show. All right, so that's my DVDs. Then to CDs, I got all these at the thrift store, so you can just see kind of what I got there. Of all of these, the ones I'm most excited about, the Peter Cetera, I got a bunch of Peter Cetera and a few Garth Brooks here. And Peter Cetera had a few amazing songs, and so I just like that. But add this to the CD collection, and for this, it's about 10 CDs, and I paid about $10. These were all from the thrift store. I got another lot of CDs. Oh, and an Aaron Neville CD. I got this lot of CDs online, and it was like buy 5, get 3 free. And they didn't come with the jewel cases. We got some Counting Crows, Mr. Mister, a Van Halen, a couple REM CDs. This one is probably the one I'm most excited about. Bruce Hornsby and the Rains, the second album, Scenes from the South Side. So some good albums here. This whole lot cost me about $20, and I got 8 CDs, I think. So pretty good value here too, but I need to get them in jewel cases and add them to my collection, which are not on display yet. They're under my bed, but I'm trying to figure that one out. Finally, at the thrift store, I also got, what is this? The Beatles 1967 to 1970 Part 1 8-track. So I don't have an 8-track player. I only have a handful of 8-track cartridges or cassettes. If you don't know, 8-track, these were the fun ones that you would have in your car. You just push the button and it would take you to the next track. This was before my time. This was mostly in the 70s, but I think they're really cool, and one day I might get an 8-track player. So pick that up. Now, just 2 things left that we got this month. We did get some cards. Let's see if I can just put these all to you in order. One thing that I collect is autograph cards from BYU football players. Favorite player of all time is Eli Herring. I have not been able to track down one of his autographs yet, but I found a card, and that's hard to do because he never played in the NFL. That's why I love him so much. He turned down the NFL to become a school teacher for a number of different reasons. I just think his story is really awesome. We named our son Eli after him, so that's really cool. But got that card this month. Then we got a bunch of auto cards here. I'll just show you some of them. Chad Lewis, great tight end. Then we've got a few Steve Youngs this month, a Virgil Carter, Ozzie Smith. Then new players, we got some Bear Bachmeier. He's the current quarterback. I got a couple of his autograph cards. And then there's another Steve Young. And finally, my favorite basketball player of all time, we got an autograph, David Robinson. So we'll add some of these to the displays that are up and about. I'll show you those in a minute. The rest will go in boxes and crates. Oh, and I did get one slab card, a Ozzie Smith rookie card. I do already have a raw version of this, which I'll just give to a buddy of mine. But Ozzie's one of my favorite baseball players of all time, so that's a fun one to have there as well. The last thing, for all these baseball cards, on average, these auto cards were like $5 to $10, but some of them, like the Bear Bachmeiers, the Steve Youngs, were a little bit more. And so for all of these cards, we're in for about $200, including the slabbed cards. So that was the biggest expense this month, but I stayed way under budget this month. Between the CDs, where I only spent about $30, another $10 for the DVDs, so that's $40. Now we're at like $240, and I think I had $400 to spend. I did spend like $50 to get this old Transformer, and it came in its box. The box is in bad shape, but it comes with like the packaging and stuff. And then this is an insect version. I don't ever remember this one coming out, but it was a pretty good deal to get it in with the box. Usually when you get in box, it's a lot more. But this was it was only like $50. So I got this, and my whole total spending for the whole month was under $300. It was a good month for collecting. I didn't get as much fancy stuff, but still added to the collection. Now, let me pause this, and I'll start this, and I'm going to give you a tour of the office. I can't do that with my webcam, so we're just going to pause. All right, here I am again, but now I'm on my phone. I want to turn you around and just show you kind of my setup here in the office. I love it down here. All right, so here's my computer setup. I've got a screen here on this side. I've got my laptop in the middle, a screen on this side, and then all the peripherals underneath. And this is all new. This is a new, one of these tables that can move for you. I like that. I like that I can plug things into it. You see underneath, I've got all the cables kind of tucked up underneath. I still need to clean that up a little more. Then on the back side, I've got a bed down here. I've got a jersey here. I used to have a Ty Detmer jersey there. It's back behind there now. But it fell down because I used just the sticky tape on that, and you need to mount those.
So I ordered a new display. It's right there. I need to open it up, and then I'll put my Detmer jersey there. My third jersey here is for a Kyle Collinsworth. He's a friend of mine, and so it's really cool to have a bunch of stuff from his. Then we've got our, let me come in closer here. We've got some old cool hats. Then these are my BYU football cards. I just got to add, from this month, we're going to add some of the Steve Young here, the Virgil Carter here. So all these are going to have to rotate down. And then of the new players, we're going to add the Bear Bachmeyer. We might add one or two of the others. Probably a Chad Lewis will go on here. But the Lee Smith, I'll probably just put in my boxer binder. The rest of these cards, you know, I've got some fun players here. A lot of quarterbacks, Doman. We've got Luke Staley, the Doak Walker Award winner. This was my childhood, watching Detmer and Smith. Dewey Gray, he's a cool guy. I love Isikahama, so that's cool. And then into the 2000s here, we've got some that are still in the league today. Kyle Van Noy still playing. Taysom still playing. Some down here are on, you know, practice squads and stuff like that. So BYU doesn't put a ton of people in the NFL, but I love having their rookie cards. This is where my GPK display was. You can see it's kind of ripped at the wall. Same thing. I put this on with the sticky tape. So I did with all these. So these might fall at some point, but I'm going to have to mount them. I did the sticky tape because I didn't want to mount them. I wanted them flush, but what can you do? Here's my vintage. We do have some older Hall of Famers now. I just replaced this Ozzie Smith with a slabbed Smith, so that's going to change out. And I'm probably, for the rest of the year, I'm going to target 1960s, 70s, and 80s Hall of Famers, but get them in slabs, because I want this to be a fully slabbed case. You see, I do have some. We've got a Willie Mays here, a Roberto Clemente, some of the junk wax era, Bo Jackson, Canseco, Ripken. And then I do have some basketball here. These will probably all come out in the next 2 months, so this will just be vintage and junk wax baseball. So that's where we're at with that display. This corner, let me back it up a little bit. This corner is one of my favorites because I can just put all my cards in there and just, you know, I see them all the time. It's fun to just kind of look at them. Then let's pull through. You see I've got my gym down here. We've got some display, and then here's my setup when I come into the office. Got some more exercise equipment over there, plus my guitars and some amps. But my bookshelves there, which were built for my backdrop, it looks kind of cool when you can see the whole thing. And this is what I see when I come in. I don't usually have the backlights on, but I think it looks pretty sweet. I like having a poster here on the side. It actually covers up. I put an outlet here to mount a TV, but then the TV had too much glare in my background, so I got rid of it. And so instead I just have a poster. I just ordered, as I mentioned earlier, a Bo Jackson poster to put up there. And I would like to regularly, like once a month, rotate that poster out. So something I'll be collecting is movie posters. Probably from the 80s and 90s, I've started collecting a wish list. We got this hoverboard this month. This is in front of my slabbed binders. So these are the rest of my BYU autograph cards. And then these are other like rookie cards and stuff like that. Then here in the cubbies, we've got our Nintendo Thundercats. I guess all this is Thundercats. Tribute here to Strong Bad with the Cheat Commandos. We've got some what's that? Rainbow Bright. Love that. Got some my Transformers. This is any new stuff I collected this month on this side, and then on the other side, it's any baseball cards I collected this month. Need to figure out where to organize this. Right now, we've got all our media, CDs, DVDs, kind of in these bottom shelves. So I'm figuring that out and then trying to figure this out with storage, what to put where. This other side's a little bit more exciting because this is where the junk wax is. So we've got all of our junk wax, 52 boxes in there, plus some pistachios. Nice. Those will be fun to open up. And then raw cards in here. So this is where I keep all my raw. This is just junk right now. I don't know if I want to break down old boxes and keep those for something. So I'm still figuring that out. But we've got some memorabilia here with 91-92 BYU football. Up here we've got a basketball from the 2000s. This is my actual boombox. When I turned 16, my mom got this for me, or she had a party. All my friends brought money and then I paid for that myself. Got some more Thundercats back there. Some more memorabilia here and some awards. And then our Voltron Sword Quest. This is, if you read Ready Player One, they talk about the Sword Quest campaign there. This is a toy my wife made for me, Mr. E.T., which is pretty cool. Some more Thundercats. Love this guy from the new Star Wars. Awesome. A few just vintage, cards that I want to keep. That takes care of that. I think that's my whole office. We've got some displays down there. I did have those up here, but it made it look too busy, so I took those away. That's it. Isn't it a fun office? I wanted to record this because a year ago, I did an office tour. It's just fun to see how things have changed in a year as I've curated some of these collections. I've added to them, and I'm getting more organized, and it's just been really fun. Let's go back to the other screen.
All right, so I'm back. And I just wanted to wrap this up with, again, right now, this is for me. I want to keep a record. It's cool to see how much things have changed in the last year, how my equipment for making videos has improved, my setup here at home as I've started working at home more and more. I'm a university professor, so most of my time's on campus, but I've started doing more and more online videos for my students. So I needed to upgrade my studio. It's been fun to create a studio in the style I want. This is my man cave. This is the stuff that I love to geek out on. I love when I wear my old 80s shirts to the grocery store and people will stop me and say, hey, cool shirt, or whatever. There are definitely a lot of us out there that care about things from our childhood. And it's fun to collect those things. And I'm not dumping a ton of money into this. It's just a little bit of my extra income that I make each month. I take half for me to buy collectibles, give the other half to my wife to spend however she wants. And it's been a fun way to build up a collection. It's a lot cheaper than other midlife crises, that involve buying automobiles or going on fancy trips. This is much more manageable for me, and I've really enjoyed it. So that's why I'm keeping a history for me. But eventually, if this becomes a monthly report where I show things, I do want to know, what are you interested in learning more about? Do you want to dig into any of these spreadsheets? Or do you want to look at anything else that I have as far as gear, equipment, display pieces? We could talk about building bookshelves or setting up lighting. We can talk about other ways to store collectibles. I didn't open up any of my boxes or cases that show you my slabbed cards and my mag cards and my top loaders and my penny sleeves. So we could get into that if you want to. But for now, just kind of wanted to do a check-in and show you what we've got. Hopefully there was some value in that for you. Have a lovely day. Bye.